a lot of people stopped seeing me as an actor because at my core, this was my first time being number one on the call sheet, and it was my first time getting paid right million.
We are so coming to that.
Because that was the other side of it, is that when you're on set for a day or two, the money isn't much, it's not great. So I was very particular about certain things, that one, I must get paid more than
my minimum requirements,
and two, I must be number one on the call sheet. I do love Nollywood, and I feel like we've put in a lot of work over the years, over the decades, building what we have now, and we can't discredit that work. But on the flip side, we've also lost trust of the audience to a certain extent.
Damn.
My audience was never just Nollywood. Right, which is also why I was very particular about going to get trained.
Yes.
Because I always said that I don't just want to be a good actor by Nigerian standards. I want to be a good actor anywhere in the world. So anywhere you put me, I'm a good actor. Hi, my name is Demi Banwo, and you are watching The Actor's Chair, brought to you by Shock Africa.
The Actor's Chair, powered by Shock Africa.
Today, on another brand new episode of The Actor's Chair, I have with me a classically trained actor and one of the most intentional producers or human beings working in the Nigerian film and TV industry. I welcome to the chair, Demi Banwo.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And then you said intentional?
Yes, intentional.
Baba, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
Demi Banwo, how are you feeling and doing right now?
I'm alive. Let's start there.
Right.
These days I take it minute by minute.
Oh, yes.
1 minute at a time. It used to be 1 day at a time, but a day became too long. And then an hour became too long. So I'm just like, let's survive the next minute.
Wow.
And then we'll take it from there.
Wow.
You know? Yeah, that's my approach to life right now.
Awesome. I particularly loved reading your bio because, like, every time I'm Googling the Banwo, I see classically trained.
Classically trained.
What does that mean? Tell me about that.
Classically trained means that I went to school for this, you know, and not only did I go to school for it, there are different methods and different, I don't know if levels is the word, but there are different kinds of training.
Right.
And I was trained in the classical method, so learning things like Shakespeare, Chekhov, and Brecht, and all those things, and then adapting that to the work that we do, to the current times.
Yes.
So yeah,
yes. Awesome.
Trained in the classics.
Awesome. And one of the fascinating things about being a classically trained actor is there's a bit of subtlety that is always ingrained or disciplined onto anybody that says they want to be classically trained.
Yeah. And
it begs the question, does Nollywood like subtlety, or do Nollywood consumers like subtlety?
So I think I would frame my answer in the context of the fact that my audience was never just Nollywood. Right. Which is also why I was very particular about going to get trained.
Yes.
Because I always said that I don't just want to be a good actor by Nigerian standards. I want to be a good actor anywhere in the world. So anywhere you put me, I'm a good actor.
Damn.
So, and part of being a good actor is also learning to adapt your performance for your audience, or for as long as it remains true to the character and true to you.
Yes.
So I mean, we talk about subtlety and we talk about nuance, and those are things that are very that I'm very passionate about with every performance. Everything I do, I make sure that it's true to the character.
Yes.
So if you have a character that is, for lack of a better word, loud, you know, and that is the essence of the character, there's a subtlety to loudness. You know, there's a subtlety to emotions. You know, fear and anger manifest differently. Anger isn't always shouting.
Okay.
You know, anger, I find anger is more effective when it's quiet, because that's when it's scary. You know, those are the subtleties and the nuance we talk about. There isn't one way to play emotions, you know.
Right.
So yeah, I think that it's making sure that whatever you're doing is true to the character, and including as much subtlety and nuance as possible. Does the Nigerian audience appreciate that? Again, the Nigerian audience isn't a monolith, right? The Nigerian audience comprises of a wide range. The audience is as diverse as Nigeria is, right?
Interesting.
So it's about being true to yourself and being true to the character, and finding the audience for that, finding the audience that appreciates that, whether they're in Nigeria or not.
Awesome. Awesome. I want to talk about characterization
Mhm.
and development and embodiment of character.
Yeah.
And for you, right, what is your process becoming a character and taking on roles? And how does that play within the economics of the Nigerian film and TV industry?
So the process is different for most characters. I think one of the great things about training is that you learn a whole bunch of different things. You learn a bunch of different methods, and they just throw things at you. They call it your toolbox, and they just throw it at you, and you have all these things in your toolbox. And then for every role, for every character, you go into the toolbox and you pick and choose which works.
Right.
So what works for this character, or what worked for this particular role, may not work for another one. Right? And you have to go with a different method, a different strategy on how to get into this character. But for me, there are some basics.
Okay.
Music is a big one. Almost every character I play, I have a playlist, or at least a song.
Yes.
That is the essence of that character.
Yes.
So even when I'm driving to set, I'm listening to that song while I'm getting ready. I'm listening to that playlist, because that already starts to shift me into the mind of the character. So music, I think, is a constant for me. For almost every role or every character, there's a song or a playlist that I attach that to. One of the things I do is I make lists of how, I make lists of how I'm similar to the character,
Okay.
and how I'm different from the character.
Okay.
And interestingly, the characters that are harder to play are the ones that I'm similar to, because you fall into the trap of just playing yourself. The more similar you are to the character, the easier it is to fall into that trap of just showing up. Especially like The Other Side of the Bridge, for example. The Other Side of the Bridge, the character is, I call him Demi in a different multiverse.
I like that.
He's Demi in a different multiverse, because really it's based on my life, so much so that even the locations we were shooting at were like,
damn,
my
like
we're shooting in my bedroom, right? So my bedroom is my character's bedroom, and all of those things. So I had to make a concerted effort to make sure that I'm not just showing up as Demi, I'm showing up as Femi, so yeah, they're different. You learn skills, you learn languages. I think one of my favorite processes for a project that still has not come out, like I can't remember how many years later, but this character was supposed to be murderous, like trying to kill his son. And the only way I could think of to get that angry was to not sleep. And so I didn't sleep I think I was awake for about 48 hours straight. And when I don't sleep, I'm a very angry person. When I don't sleep. When I don't sleep or when I'm hungry, I'm a very angry person. So I didn't sleep for 48 hours straight. And by the time I got to set, I was ready to kill someone. I was ready to so once they said action, and I had this axe. I had to tell the guy, I'm like,
there's a prop.
Please run. Because I don't know if I can control this rage that is inside me, because I've not slept in 2 days, So again, it depends on
What's the name of this film, by the way? Because now it's on my radar.
I think it was called The Legend of the Sin Eater. It was directed by Xavier Igoroje. Yeah.
Xavier, wherever you're watching
Yeah.
this, give us a teaser clip.
Exactly. Xavier, how far is fail? But we shot a while back, so it'll actually be interesting to see what it looked like or
Yes.
how it turned out, because I did have fun with that character. I think the more despicable the character, the more fun it is. The more
Interesting.
fun it is.
One of my very big questions I wanted to ask you was, as an actor,
Mhm.
right, and somebody who has auditioned for roles, how do you manage the idea of getting roles and not getting roles, and then finally be able to create a project where you were in doubt of even you playing the lead role?
You've asked me like 10 questions inside that. So initially, as an actor, I hated auditions.
Wow.
Because it felt like, I mean, yes, you're performing, and it feels like you're asking somebody to choose me, like me,
Right.
pick me,
Pick me.
love me. That's what auditions felt like for me, But I think what really helped me with auditions was when I started producing.
Right.
Because I then was now on the other side of auditions.
Yes.
And your audition literally starts when you arrive. Because I've seen people get and lose roles before they even enter the audition room. I'll give you 2 examples. When we were doing Inspector K, there was a character that we were trying to audition for. Or there was a character, we were doing open auditions, And thank you. That was actually my first job as a producer. So we were doing open auditions, and we had this character that we were auditioning for. And the green room where we had the actors, I think they're taking lights, so the AC wasn't on. And so I walk into the room, and one of the actors is complaining about the AC. But then the way he was complaining was exactly the way the character would have done it. And I kid you not, that's how he got the role. Because I went back into the audition room and I was like, I found the person we're looking for. So regardless of what he did in that audition room, he had already gotten the role. Right? So literally your audition.
That's an interesting process.
Yeah, and it just happened like that. But then on the flip side, I've also seen people lose roles because of things that they did before they got into the audition. So another example, I get to an audition, and in this case, I'm an actor auditioning,
Yes.
right? But I know the people behind the project. And there's a guy that is there that's setting up chairs and setting up canopies for, to make everyone comfortable. And people are rude to him. That was the EP of the project. That was the EP of the project.
Anybody see outside? Actors,
So I'm I'm very sure that they did not get the roles because you disrespected the EP before you even got into the room. So your audition literally starts before you get into the room. And a lot of times, and in my experience as an actor, you can have a fantastic audition, but you're just not right for the role. And I heard that so many times in my career as an actor. It's like, you were great, you were fantastic, you're the best actor that came in, but you're not just right for the role. Like when we did The Wait, right? The role I was auditioning for was, I think it was Mike Afolarin that ended up playing that role.
Okay.
And the role was supposed to be Chimezie's best friend.
Right.
And we spent that whole day. They were just shuffling us. Yeah, get shuffling us. And at the end of the day, I'm talking to the EP and she's like, you're the best actor we saw, but you just can't play Chimezie's best friend. You come across as his older brother, and we need his best friend. And then they randomly told me to, I think at the end of the day, they randomly told me to read a role that was an Agbero. And I'm like, I don't understand.
This is not what I came for.
But that's the role I ended up getting, and that's actually one of my favorite roles. That's one of my favorite roles. So I tell actors to just go in and just have fun. Just go in and have fun, because it may not be this role.
This role that you may
and
get. That's also like having an open mind.
Yeah. So the way I see auditions as an actor now is, for me, it's a way to flex. If I have a monologue I've been wanting to try out, I'm like, please, who is auditioning? Let me come and try this monologue for you.
Interesting.
Like for To Adego We Love, that was literally what it was. Like I went for the audition, not to audition, just to greet the people that were doing. So I literally came in at the end of the audition. I came in at 8 p.m. because I came to say hi to the people that were doing the auditions, And then they're like, "Oh, David, come and do something for us." And I was like, "Oh, I have this monologue that I've been meaning to try out."
Nice.
And I did it, and I got that role.
That's a good hack, by the way, because the pressure just reduces.
Yeah, just enter and
instantly.
have fun. Like
It's a good hack.
that's the way I approach auditions now, and I think that comes from being on the other side of it.
Speaking of roles that you auditioned for but that you did not get, what's
Oh,
the
Lord.
one role that you auditioned for that you didn't get? That really was like, I should have gotten.
The one that I auditioned for that I didn't get. There are two.
Okay.
One I got and I had to turn down.
No way.
Yeah. I remember my first job as an actor was Giddy Up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this was 2013. And at the same time, they were doing MTV Shuga, the first MTV Shuga.
No way.
And I auditioned for that and I got the role. Right. And then I had to choose. And I chose Giddy Up.
Fair.
And sometimes I ask myself, I'm like, how different may life have been if I had chosen
Why did
Shuga?
you choose Giddy Up over MTV Shuga?
So for me at the time, it was the company of people I was in. Because Giddy Up had Jade was directing.
Oh yeah.
Lala was on it.
Yeah.
And then the actors Osi Ukeje, Somkele, Joke Silva, Adesua, Daniel Etim, Seun Ajayi.
It was tough.
And I was just like, yeah, this is where
Your cream de la cream.
I'm like, in fact, funny enough, it was Giddy Up that made me decide to go and get trained. Because after working on that, I'm working with those actors. I was like, I really don't know what I'm doing. So it was after Giddy Up that I went to drama school. But I was like, okay, I need to know what I'm doing. Yes. So sometimes I ask that, how different would life have been if I had chosen Shuga? Because I think it was Effa that went on to play that role. Effa Iwara.
Interesting.
And it was Timini's roommate.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe my career would have looked different if I had played that role. But again, I'm very grateful that I did Giddy Up because Giddy Up led to. I can draw a direct line between Giddy Up and Gangs of Lagos.
Yes.
There's literally a straight line. And I'm pretty sure that if I didn't do Giddy Up, Gangs of Lagos would have happened. So there's literally a straight line between Giddy Up and Gangs of Lagos. And the people I worked with on Giddy Up, like, we always joke about it that Giddy Up was a lot of people's first projects. And those people, almost everyone that worked on Giddy Up, both cast and crew, have gone on to. Mohammed Atta was our DOP on Giddy Up. Casey Obiajulu was the focus puller on Giddy Up. Mato, right? That was his first job as a gaffer, as a screen gaffer. I think that was Somkele's first. That was my first. I don't think it was Daniel. I think it might have been Daniel's first. I think the first season was Daniel's first. It was Jade's first. So there were a lot of firsts on Giddy Up, and I look at the trajectory of everybody that worked on Giddy Up in front and behind the camera, and I'm happy with the decision I made. So there's that, and then till date, my favorite audition was for Shantytown. Yeah, that was my favorite. Like, I still look back at that video and I'm like, oof. I mean, when I saw Chidimo Kime, I was like, of course. But still, I still watch that video and I'm like, oh gosh, I would have loved. I loved that audition. Those are the ones that. Every other one I think I got.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So leading now back to, playing a leading role in your own film. And at the point, because I think I was doing the Instagram post this morning and you were like, are you pushing my cock on the Remy to come and play? I was like, what's going on here?
So The Other Side of the Bridge was my first time carrying a film, because the film came from a place of, I don't know if frustration is the word. Because at the time when the idea for the film came up, I realized that I was approaching 10 years as an actor.
Wow.
And I didn't feel like I had been challenged. I didn't feel like I had acted, and that's because at that time I also realized that the longest I had been on a film set was 2 days, right? And yes, you can do a lot in 2 days. But one of the things I always looked at was actor-director relationships. And those things, they take time to build. You have to be on set for a while together. You look at Ryan Coogler, I'm like, and I'm like, I haven't been on set with anybody long enough to build that sort of, and it just felt like things were not progressing, at least as an actor.
Right.
Because at this time we had also done Gangs.
Yeah.
And a lot of people stopped seeing me as an actor. You included.
We're coming to that. We are so coming to that.
So a lot of people stopped seeing me as an actor. Like I think the year the idea for Gangs came, I think it was maybe like the middle of the year, and I hadn't even gotten called for a single audition. And I was like, is this how my life is going to be? Am I going to keep waiting for a call that's not going to come? And so it then became a question of, okay, you have to take your career into your own hands.
Yes.
You have to take matters into your own hands. And I knew the basics of how to put a film together. Because again, we had done Gangs by this time. We had done Everything Scatter by this time. So I knew the basics of how to put a film together.
Everything Scatter, cough.
Moving on. And so it now became a question of, what character do you want to play?
Ooh.
And I was like, I've always wanted to play a boxer. It's generally known that when you want people to take you seriously as an actor, you do a boxing film.
Absolutely.
Because it's a lot of work to do a boxing film. Even though I underestimated the work at the time, which is where Kunle Remi comes in. We'll get to that. So I was like, okay, I've always wanted to play a boxer. I love boxing films. Let's make a boxing film. Great. Now, what story do you want to tell with that boxing film? And that's where the story of The Other Side of the Bridge came up.
Right.
Of two boxers from either sides of the bridge. And for me, it was also a way of telling a very personal story. The story of, basically, I tell people, if you watch The Other Side of the Bridge and you replace boxing with film, it's almost autobiographical.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that film helped me process certain things with regards to my career, with regards to my life. Helped me process the experience of losing my mom, and how this film helped me get through some of that.
So this was therapy for you?
Yeah, it was therapeutic, very much so, because when I was talking to the writer, I was talking to the writers, Emil and Tamara, there were things I was saying to them that I've never even vocalized before. And some of those things became lines in the script. Some of those things became lines in the script. So I watched the film now and I'm like, yeah, this was like a purge. So in as much as it was needed on a professional level, it was also needed on a personal level. That's why the film is so personal to me. It's the film that I needed to make.
Interesting.
Now I can make films that I want to make. But The Other Side of the Bridge was the film that I needed to make.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So that's how that.
So
and Kunle Remi. Yeah.
Did Kunle Remi audition for this?
No. You
were just like, this Kunle Remi, come and give Kunle Remi the role.
No. So I remember one day my guys told me that even me, so there's a backup for every actor. Right? There's a backup for every actor. And I didn't think there was a backup for me because I'm like, what do you mean there's a backup for me? And
now I feel this.
Exactly. And they're like, if you get injured, do you think we're not going to make this film? Damn. No, we're going to continue without you. And even me, I was like, yeah, you would have to continue without me because I have investors to answer to. Damn. And so Kunle Remi was always the plan B for me. So if anything happened to me, they would have called Kole
Yeah.
to come and play this role.
Wow.
You know, so that's why I always make the joke about Kole. Because when the boxing got tough,
Come on.
even me, I was like, guys, please, can you call
Come
Kole? Like, I'm not doing this again, please, please, please. Because we trained for 1 year. You know, me and Tobi trained for 1 year, and in the course of that 1 year, there were several times where I'm like, come on, I think this was a bad idea. You know, I think this was a bad idea, but here we are with a film to show for it.
Yes, so amazing
Yeah.
stuff. And again, right, one of the things that I really like about this film, because I think we watched it at Africa twice. You guys got an extra screening
Yes, we
for
did.
that. And it was just, it felt different. I don't know, maybe it was because it was set within the boxing world, or because you could clearly see that this is personal.
Yeah.
And you could see the motifs, and I don't want to start doing whatever this thing, but you could see and the brilliance of Mainland Island, where I'm not even sure if any big screen film has done as visually done that dichotomy of a character is mainland, another character is island, and they're going to merge, and we're going to see, because it's a question of who wins. It's a fight, literally. But yeah, and also, I think I want to come back to, I don't think the industry throws away you not being an actor. Everybody knows Demi Banwo is an actor.
Do they?
You might be surprised.
I will be surprised.
You might be surprised.
I will be very surprised.
Because you never know who is watching what you've done.
Yes.
And like, oh, this guy, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And like, so that's the thing about acting. Like, people keep the screen time that they see. We keep it in ourselves. And when we see you outside,
no, don't keep it to yourself. Give me my flowers. But no, on a more serious note, I think you are right, because it always surprises me when people are like, because there's a part of me that is still like, wait, people actually watch this stuff that we do, you know? And people are like, oh yeah, I watched you in this, and I really liked you in that, and I'm like, you saw my blink and you miss it, and they're like, yeah, you actually, you know. But why? I think the reason why I always say that I didn't feel seen as an actor was because I didn't feel like I'd been given enough to work with. A lot of the roles that I played, you look at the scripts and they're one line in the script, you know, or they're just a throwaway character. And then I look at it and I'm like, okay, how can I elevate this?
Yes.
You know, somebody once told me that that when my name comes up, what people say is that he's the guy that does a lot with a little, which is why you always get given a little. So if you have a small role that you want to elevate, you call Demi Banwo. And I'm like, I know we say there are no small roles, only small actors. I'm like, Baba, there are small roles. There are small roles. But I think I've done a decent job as an actor of elevating these small roles and making them more than what they were. You know, I do appreciate that there are still some people that still rate me as an actor. But I didn't feel very seen as an actor, which is where a lot of those frustrations came from. Because at my core, I'm an actor. Everything else I do is because, so everything else I do was to meet a need that I had as an actor. And it was a need that wasn't being met by other
endeavors.
People. Yeah. So I started producing because I needed work as an actor. I started management because I needed a manager. You know. And then it then became bigger than me. So these things became bigger than me. So in as much as they started with me, it became bigger than me. So even when I produce now, it's not like the next couple of projects that we're looking at working on, I'm not even in them. You know, I'm not even in the projects as an actor. I'm either producing or directing, you know, and I'm quite excited about that. Because I'm like, you get to actually shape a world. And the management, of course, there are so many actors out there that need good management. So it's right now, management-wise, in as much as I'm a talent in the agency, my work is my work is as a manager.
You're an executive talent.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take that executive talent. Yes, I think that one is going in my bio actually.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So I think now will be a good time to talk about the actor-director chemistry that you mentioned, where
Yes.
you are the number one guy on the call sheet, and even down to, as the main actor, you need to have chemistry with every other actor that is coming on board the project.
Yes.
And I want to use the other side of the bridge as a very good example. So tell me, what was that experience like for you? You're finally number one. Demi Banwo is number one on the call sheet.
And I was very particular about that.
Oh,
that I must
definitely
be number one on the call sheet. Because I was like, this is the first time.
This is why
rather
this
than
was
being
created.
number 20 or number 57.
Absolutely not.
I was like, you know what? I have to be number one on the call sheet.
So tell me.
So I can say that this was my first. And funny enough, this was my first time being number one on the call sheet. And it was my first time getting paid over $1 million.
We're coming to that. We are so coming to that.
Because that was the other side of it, is that when you're on set for a day or two, the money isn't
definitely
much. It's not great. So I was very particular about certain things. That one, I must get paid more than
my minimum requirements.
And two, I must be number one on the call sheet.
And you got it.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm like, okay, what else? What else can I ask for? Can I ask for a trailer? Can I ask for a Can I become a diva on my own production? My producer is always reminding me that you can ask for whatever you want. So don't feel like you are EP as well.
It's coming back to your table. It's coming back.
Now, with regards to chemistry on set, first of all, being number one on the call sheet is a huge responsibility.
Tell me about it.
It's not just it's like the production matches your energy. So there are times when product energy is low on set, and you're the one that has to bring. So it's a big responsibility being number one on the call sheet. And in this case, where I was working as producer and executive producer, there's a lot of responsibility on that. I'm very grateful for the people that we worked with. The actors are phenomenal. Tobi, I can't stop singing Tobi's praises because again, we trained for 1 year becoming boxers, and that level of dedication and commitment, like we were in the gym twice a day, 5 days a week, and he showed up every time. He showed up every day, even days when I did not want to show up. It's Tobi that would call me and like, Baba, it's time to go and box, and I think that with him, it's even more than just work now. Like Tobi's my guy. Like, that's my guy. Because we have been through the fire together, literally. And then the other, I was telling Auntie Reti that I don't get starstruck, but every time I'm with her, I'm just like,
I'm with Auntie Reti.
Just like and I think that's one of my biggest joys on this, is that I actually even got to work with actors I've always wanted. I'm a huge fan of Teniola. I always tell her all the time. She thinks I'm whining now. I'm like, no, I'm actually a huge fan. She's one of the people that I insisted. I was like, no, it has to get him. Got to work with Bubemi, got to work with Tai. I mean, I've worked with Tai several times. That's also one of I love Tai so much. Olarotimi, Femi Branch. So like Seun Ajayi is I always tell people that I call him your favorite actor's favorite actor. Because Seun Ajayi is one of those people that as an actor you want to be in a scene with Seun. With Seun, sorry. You want to be in a scene with Seun because you have to bring your game.
Yes.
There are a couple of projects that I've accepted as an actor because they said I was going to be acting with Seun. And I was like, let's do it. So getting to work with that crop of actors for me was it was a dream come true. I think that's also one of the things I enjoy about being able to put a project together. Is that okay?
Oh yeah, control.
Yeah, it's like who am I? Like, I can't wait to do a project with Brian Suleiman. Like that one, I'm just waiting. We'll craft the project. I can't wait to do it. I mean, I've acted with him before, but Ibrahim is one person that I'm looking forward to doing a project with. And with these people, the chemistry comes easy. It comes easy because they're easy people. Mike is, I think, a few days ago, the editor of the film was saying that me and Mike should play brothers more because he was like, we actually felt like brothers, and I'm like,
was there.
That's because me and Mike go way back. So when it came to the role of my brother,
nobody else,
Mike, of course. So yeah, I think that was probably my favorite part of the process, was getting to work with this crop of actors and making something great with them. What's the rest of your question?
You having I think we're wrapping towards it, but you having control.
Yes.
And the core reason of why you're doing this is because you wanted to be at the center of it all.
Yeah. And it also extends to the people behind the camera.
Yes.
There are crew members that I can't wait to work with. And like someone like May Bakre, a fantastic AD. I can't wait to work with May. I feel like we'll fight too, but I can't wait to work with May because I've been on a set as an actor with May before, and the way she runs a set is
elite,
phenomenal. So yeah, they're like Mato is epic. So I think that's my favorite part of this journey, is that maybe very selfish, but I sort of get to my dream people.
All your boxes.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about selling the dreams. We have an executive talent, so this might be tricky, right? Where we're going to ask him, how much do they pay background actors? How do you
no comments. No comments.
The Actor's Chair. Powered by Shock Africa.
Welcome back to Actor's Chair. So one of the very interesting questions that I want to ask for somebody who doubles as a talent and an executive talent, how does someone negotiate as a background actor? Or maybe they ask you, oh, come and play Wakapa, or come and play supporting, and you have a bit of a brand or like a catalog of work that is solid. How do you approach that?
Okay, so you're not a brand new.
You're not brand new. You're not brand new.
Have a day rate. Yeah, have a day rate. And use that as sort of the benchmark for where you negotiate from.
Interesting.
I think my day rate, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I think it came from, I know where it came from. There was one project we were supposed to do like this that we did not do. But it was that project that gave me my day rate, because I was like, okay, this seems to be the benchmark for what I can, or what is attainable for me. And over the years, of course, that rate has increased. It increases every year.
What increases it?
I'm getting older. More years of experience, more value.
Interesting. Because I think one of the questions that I want to ask is, how does a working actor who is every title that she has been on or he has been on has gotten an appeal? Are they meant to increase their rates after a hit show, or after getting an award, or on a yearly cycle?
It varies. I think that those are all valid. All three of those are valid reasons to increase your rates, because your value is increasing with these things.
Yes.
So you look at like a William Benson before and after To Kill a Monkey, those rates are going up.
Nah. Interesting.
You know, you look at Mike Afolarin before and after Far From Home, those rates are, because the value is now different. You know, the brand is different. You know, you win an AMVCA, those rates go up. You know, you win an AMA, those rates go up because there's more value attached to it. It's like the same thing with the Oscars. You win an Oscar, the value goes up, your rates go up, you know. But then on a yearly basis, because the economy is, we're in the same economy. You know, I always tell people that, I mean, yes, I understand that, you know, the prices of everything goes up, but also the prices of your actors will go up because they have to buy food to come to your sets.
Absolutely.
They have rent that they need to pay, rent that they just doubled, that they need to pay. You know,
It's crazy.
So I think that there are reasonable reasons for rates going up. I mean, and it can just be a factor of the economy, because as an actor, you're a product as well.
So what now happens when an actor doesn't get all of that? You don't get an EMVC, you don't get an AMA, you don't get a hit show.
And that's why I said you are in the economy as well, are you not?
So a yearly,
yeah, I think no. Even
because there's now a bit of how does the industry accept your new rates?
You stick to it, and so in my case, right, I've always said that if you ask 5 people, what's Demi Banwo's rate, you get the same number.
Interesting.
You get the same number. I keep it consistent so that people know that, okay, if I want to call him, this is the money I need to have. You know, and that's sort of the way we also approach it with the talents we manage. Everybody has a day rate, right? And then we can decide if we're going to discount that for some reason or the other. So that's where the negotiation comes in. It starts with, okay, this is the rate. What's your budget? And then where can we possibly meet? And then sometimes it has happened before where it's like, this is the rate. Like, oh, we can give you even more than that. You know, actually, that has happened only one time. Shout out to Lala.
Damn.
That has happened one time. You know, it's like, okay, this is the rate, this is what we agreed. And then she calls back and is like, oh, I have more money for you. And I'm like,
Lala,
God.
please call me.
I'm like, God, I beg, when?
That's working. Yeah, just levels to that. Levels to that.
So yeah, it's have a rate. If you need to discount it when you're invoicing, make sure that the full rate is there, and then include the discount. Because the other thing that happens is, for example, you want to hire me for a job and I give you the discounted rate. Somebody asks you,
where's the invoice?
No. They will ask you, how much did you pay them? You will say the discounted rate. They now take it as, that's the rate. So that if you're discussing with somebody else, you can see the invoice, you can say, this is the full rate.
Yes.
He gave me a discount.
Yes.
This is what I paid him. Right? So that person coming knows that they may or may not get a discount, but this is the rate.
Amazing.
You know? Amazing. And it's going to take losing some jobs, because there are jobs, if you are sticking to your fees like that, there are some jobs you have to walk away from. You know. But then the ones that you do, it makes sense.
Awesome. And final questions in terms of negotiation, right?
Yeah.
Does distribution window affect rates?
Distribution window, distribution platform.
Yes. So if I'm going to cinema, it's a different rate. If I'm doing YouTube, it's a different rate. If I'm doing Netflix original, Prime Video original, Tubi original, HBO original.
No, the rates again is on a daily basis, right? It's a day rate. So whether and I've had so many, especially as a manager, I've had so many encounters where people are like, boy, it's YouTube film now. And I'm like, but the acting is the same.
Damn.
It's the same. You don't come and say, oh, I want you to
YouTube
give me exactly. I want you to give me YouTube acting. I want you to give me cinema acting.
Oh,
no,
God.
The acting is the same. The level of what, and sometimes it's actually even more. It's more on the smaller films
because of the compressed.
You get it. So the work that you would have spread out over like 3 days, over like 21 days as an actor, you're doing it in 3 days. You know, so I'm even inclined to even charge you more. But my rationale is that, look, it's the same it's the same level of work, it's the same level of acting, so the rates are the same. If we it always comes back to how many days you want to shoot.
Yes.
This is the rate per day. How many days are you shooting? If you're
Mm.
shooting for 6 months, you are paying the day rate for 6 months. If you're shooting for 5 days, you're paying the day rate for 5 days. That's how we approach it.
Awesome. So right about now, we are gonna go into our green flag, red flag game. So Demi, you want to do a demo? Show me your green flag.
Okay. Oh, what are the white flags for? I surrender. I surrender. No comment. This might be no comments.
Okay, so
red flag, green flag, no comments.
If you do you only have a right to do no comment once.
Okay. Because I'm afraid of you.
Please don't be afraid of
You want them to cancel me in this industry.
Number one, a project that doesn't have royalty. Green flag or red flag?
A project that doesn't offer royalties.
Yes, or back-end negotiations. And they're like, nope, we are only giving you upfront and final fee.
It's not a green flag, it's not a red flag. Because it can be reasoned.
Why would it be a red flag? Why would it be a green flag?
So sometimes you won't start upfront fee. Right? Because look at it this way. Royalties and backend are like going into business with someone.
Yes.
And then ask yourself, this person that is offering me royalties, is this somebody I want to go into business with?
Damn.
Because you're essentially tying, and it's also the same thing as a producer. This person I want to offer royalties to, is this somebody that I want to be tied to long term?
Yes.
Right? Is this somebody that I want to go into business with?
Yes.
You know, because at the end of the day, you're tying yourself to this person for years. And if you're on the receiving end, you have to be able to trust that what this person tells you is what it was.
Yes. Ooh,
right?
trust.
Because they can come to you and say,
we don't make money.
And you are now screwed out of the upfront money you should have collected. You know. Now, on the flip side, it's also a way to manage your costs.
Yes.
Right. It's a way to manage your costs, and it's a way to have people more invested in your project. And this is from the production side of things. You know, if an actor, if a crew member is receiving royalties and back end, they're more likely to carry your project on their head.
Yes, absolutely.
Right, because they are invested in it, literally.
Yes.
But my thing is, you cannot ask for royalties and be still slamming me with a big fee at upfront. We have to cut that upfront fee down in exchange for the royalties. You can't have it both ways.
Awesome.
You know, so yeah, it's neither of the flags.
Next question is, if somebody you just randomly engage with and they say, "Oh, I don't watch Nollywood."
Please, is there like a purple flag or something? Because you're asking me questions that I can reason.
That's why it is a green flag, red flag situation.
I don't appreciate it.
You wanna use your white. You wanna use
what
your
are
white
the other
card?
questions so I can know? You know, white flag, and I'll explain to you why.
Okay.
So, first of all, I love Nollywood.
Absolutely.
I do. If not, yeah, I do love Nollywood. And I feel like we've put in a lot of work over the years, over the decades, building what we have now. And we can't discredit that work. But on the flip side, we've also lost the trust of the audience to a certain extent.
Damn.
You know, and we also have to do the work of building that audience trust back.
Yep.
And that comes with good projects. And not just good projects financially, but good projects artistically.
Yes.
You know, you have to find a way to balance the artistic and the finance. And I think it's the artistic, and when I say artistic, like the story makes sense, the production value makes sense. Not artistic in the sense that it's a high concept where it's going over the head of the audience, but artistic in, are you telling a good story and are you telling it well?
Yes.
You know, I think the more of those we get, if we can say we get 10, 15 of those projects a year, you know, because I also understand that there's a place for budget. You know, there's also the place for budget.
Yes.
But once we can start to build the audience trust back, we'll start to hear that less and less.
Awesome. Question number 3. A casting director says, I cannot put you as the main lead in this film because you don't have 1.something million followers.
I'm sorry, I need more colors.
This is the time of truth.
This is my answer here, the
No.
actor's chair.
No.
Because again,
No.
I get okay. It's the way it's framed. It's the way it's framed. Now, I'm a firm believer of the best person for the job, right? But it also helps if that person has a 1.5 million followers. If they are the best person for the job, and
they have,
for example, Tobi, right?
Right.
Tobi was the best person for this role,
And
right.
he had a good Instagram follower.
And he had a good following, right? So it's that be the best person for the role. But it also, I mean, for me, that's the first approach. Like, I'm not going to cast you because you have 1.5 million followers, or you are the best person for the role. You're going to get the role. I think that's also one of the things that worked for us on the other side of the bridge.
Right.
Is that at the time when we shot the film, a lot of the names in the film weren't big names. I think, yeah, a lot of the names. But in the time between when we shot it and when we were releasing it,
the value add.
what a blow. You know, a blow.
Interesting.
So I'm very happy with that decision because it was a fight. It was a fight getting that cast. Because there were questions of, can this cast sell the film? Blah, 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 and I'm like, I'm going to cast the best people for the job, whether they have 10 followers or. But then I also understand it from a marketing perspective because
yes,
you have a film to sell, so you have to balance it out. You have to balance it out. That's my answer.
All right. So next question is, a executive producer tells you.
I have an addition to that your question actually.
Go ahead.
Now back to the follower count. I've always said that if you're in a good project, the followers will come.
Absolutely.
And I've seen this happen real time. When Blood Sisters came out, we were monitoring. Some of us were monitoring her followership.
Genoveva.
And we do this when Far From Home came out. We were monitoring Mike's followership. When To Kill a Monkey came out, we were monitoring William's followership. And these followers jumped from 1,000, 2,000 to 100,000 overnight. I say it all the time. If tomorrow Marvel comes and says Demi Banwo is the next Black Panther, I have not even made the film.
Fire.
The follow, like
fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
So it's a good project. A good project will make the followers, or will bring the followers, will bring the stars. That's the way I look at it.
Next question. A Hollywood studio comes to you and they say, "Oh, we want you to do a African character with a whole accent, the whole different accent."
When you say different accent, what do you mean?
It's not an African accent.
We'll fight. So
red flag.
It's a red flag. It's a red flag.
So tell me, why is that a red flag?
Because I feel like the bare minimum you should do is the research of what you're trying to do.
Absolutely.
Right? If you're trying to cast, find the nuances of the accents, the nuances of. So it's deeper than just an African accent. It's deeper than just a Nigerian accent.
Even at that.
It's deeper than just a Yoruba accent. Right? When I say nuance, it goes that deep because the way, even if you're saying, because you have to look at, okay, where is this person from? How was the person brought up? Where does the person, what are the influences? Because those things influence how you speak.
Exactly.
Right? So it really, that's the level of research you have to do where it's like, okay, this character, reasonably, what accent would this person have based on who they are? Because if you look at America, there are different states have different accents.
Right.
Someone from LA sounds different from someone from North Carolina.
Absolutely.
Right? So if you have that level of nuance, why can't you respect us enough to have that level of nuance with the character?
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're making a film.
Yes.
And your actor is saying, you're going to pay me a different fee for marketing than a different fee for my acting fees. Green flag or red flag?
We'll negotiate it. Because I also understand why. It's a fair, to be honest, it's a fair request.
Because it also begs the question, at production,
Mm-hmm.
should fees include that immediately you are cast on this project, you are automatically mandated to push this film because your face is on it, and that's what that the fees that we're paying you
Yeah.
is part of the marketing fees. That a separate fee should be entirely different.
It can be negotiated. You as a producer can decide to enforce that. Me as the actor can decide if I want to accept that or not. Right. Because I do see a lot of contracts now that include marketing responsibilities and
Yes.
marketing duties. And I also understand it because once it's in the contract, it's easier to
Follow up
to
through.
hold on to. But I also understand where an actor says, you have to pay me an extra fee for marketing. If I can afford it, I will. Right? Because I know the amount of work that goes into marketing a film. Even for the actor, I know the amount of work it is, right? So if I can afford it, to be very honest, I'll do it. If I can't afford it, we'll talk about it. I'm like, Baba, I can't pay you extra fee, but last, I'll cover your transportation. I will buy you lunch.
Yes.
Those things. And again, actors are easy to please. I think that's what people don't realize, that actors are actually not that hard to please. And just treat them like human beings. Don't treat them like, oh, because I paid you, I can do you anyhow. No, just treat them like human beings, decent respect. And actors, I think that's one of the things I've been grateful for on the other side of the bridge, is that the respect is reciprocal.
Awesome.
I respect them. The respect.
Final red flag, green flag question is a script where there's no director attached,
Okay.
and that on the first day of set, that is when you know your director. Why?
A good script in a bad hand becomes a bad film.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's a red flag. I need to know who I'm going on this journey with.
Yes.
A bad script in a good hand can make a decent film.
Interesting.
A good hand can elevate a bad script, but a good script in a bad hand is a bad film. Yeah, so that's a red. Oh wow, I actually got one color question.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Final question. The Other Side of the Bridge. When is it coming out? Why should people watch it?
The Other Side of the Bridge. The Other Side of the Bridge is out in cinemas nationwide, April 17th.
Woohoo!
Why should people watch it? First of all, you're gonna have fun, right? It's a boxing film, and people like to watch people beat each other. I've realized that. It's like when people are fighting on the road, you slow down to watch.
Right.
But it's also a very personal story, not just to me, but to anybody that watches it, because you watch this film and you see yourself in one of the characters. You see yourself in their experiences. So regardless of which side of the bridge you're from, you can relate to these guys because we're going through universal experiences, So you're in for a good time, you're in for an emotional time, you're in for a great film.
The Other Side of the Bridge is the one in a lifetime boxing Nigeria film you need to watch. Demi Banwo, thank you so much for sharing your time and your talent with us. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Please follow, like, and share. I will catch you guys in the next episode. My name remains Damilare Akitunde.
The Actor's Chair. Powered by Shock Africa.